Hello everyone! In this video, let's take a look at openVDB's. So let's take a look at openVDB's in Blender. Right now I'm using Eevee as a render engine, and the version of Blender I'm using is the 2.90. Okay? So let's begin by creating a plane and scale it. So let's scale up this plane. And now let's import our volume. So you need to hit Shift A on your keyboard, go to volume and import openVDB. Now find your volume. So let's take a look at a folder here where I have all my volumes, and it's a VDB file as expected. So let's import, let's choose any one here. So let's take a look at this one, number 70. And yeah, it's very small, so let's change its properties. So let's begin by scaling the volume. I mean, pretty much as you do with anything, hit S on your keyboard and drag out to scale it up. And now let's turn on the usual stuff here, like ambient occlusion, bloom, and this is very important. Turn on volumetric shadows, okay? And change the tile size to 2 pixels. Actually, this will increase a lot the level of detail on your volumes. So let's begin tweaking our volume. Okay, let's bring this up just a bit, like so. And let's change to render mode so we can see what Eevee has to show us. And it looks pretty decent now, but we're gonna get a lot more detail on this, okay? So let's turn off the light and create a sunlight. So light, sun, and usually it renders pretty well with the sunlight. Let's rotate the light on the x-axis and on the z-axis to have a 45-degree angle for our light, okay? And now's a good time to give our volume a material. So let's do that. Let's change to our shader editor, and let's select our volume, and let's click on new. And you can see Blender already assigns a volume material to our object. He understands that this is a volume, so a volume material is assigned to that, right? Okay, so now we can play with the settings. Let's increase the density so you can see how much detail we can have on this. Let's first make it lighter. Let's bring this up, and let's increase the power of the sun to have it a little bit more light. So let's click on the sun and bump it up to 5. Okay, yeah, so we can see now more difference between the light and the shadow. So let's select our volume again. And let's add some density so you can see more detail. So let's change this from 1 to 4, for example. And yeah, it looks pretty good, right? Of course, this is very dense. Just notice that anything inside this volume won't show up. So let's tweak it to a lower value so we can see things and manipulate things inside this. So let's import a character to adjust that. Okay, so once the character is in position, let's bring the volume down to put it around the character, and let's move inside so we can see how the character looks inside our openVDB volume. So it's a good idea to create a light inside the volume so we can check how the light and the shadow behaves. So let's create a point light here. Let's move it up and a little bit in front of the character. So let's grab this on the X and on the Y, and let's bump it up the power of this light to like 100 watts. And yeah, you can see now we have some cool volumetric shadows. Look at that. So we can move our camera to see how the projection of the shadow happens inside the volume. And this is pretty neat, especially considering that this is all real time. I mean, we didn't have to do anything. We just put the volume and the light and the character, and now you have something really cool. So let's play with the density of our fog, and let's make it like a 0.2, 0.25. Yeah, it seems to work fine here. So not too dense, not too transparent. Still, we have the shadow projected into the volume, which makes it Really cool. Now let's change the color of our volume. So you just click on the volume properties and change the color, and you can see that it works pretty well. It holds like all the level of detail, and the density still holds. So this is a pretty cool way of having like colored fog and color volumetrics in your scenes. Okay. And now let's play a little bit with the size and the shape of our volume. So I'm scaling it down, moving it down a little bit, and let's scale this, but not on the Z-axis. So hit S, Shift Z to constrain the scale to the X and Y axis. And look at this. This looks pretty cool, right? So now you can easily set up a scene and have this volume creating the mood for your concept. Okay? So thanks for watching, and remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. Bye.